Heaven, the realm of divine perfection and the dwelling place of the Almighty, was the setting for an event that changed the course of existence forever. The fall of Satan, the most radiant of God's creations, raises profound questions that have echoed through the ages. How could a being surrounded by God's unending glory rebel? How could sin, an affront to divine holiness, emerge in a place designed to be flawless? These questions don't just challenge our understanding of divine perfection, they reveal the depths of God's righteousness, the catastrophic consequences of pride, and the beauty of his ultimate plan for redemption. Satan's rebellion is a story that underscores not only the seriousness of sin, but also the unshakable justice and sovereignty of God. Today, we'll unravel these mysteries from a biblical perspective, showcasing God's righteousness, wisdom, and justice at every turn. Stay with us as we dive into this eternal truth and discover how it still resonates with our lives today. Before we go further, take a moment to subscribe to our channel, give this video a thumbs up, and hit the notification bell. Your support not only helps us grow, but also enables us to continue spreading God's truth to a world in desperate need of his light. Together, let's embark on this journey into God's Word and uncover the profound lessons behind one of the most pivotal moments in spiritual history. Let's begin this exploration with hearts open to understanding his truth. Long before the creation of the earth in the presence of God's infinite glory, there existed a celestial hierarchy established by divine wisdom. At its pinnacle stood Lucifer, the light-bearer. Ezekiel describes him as the seal of perfection, adorned with wisdom and every precious stone, a reflection of God's craftsmanship and glory. Lucifer's role was unique. He was not just another angel among the heavenly host. He was crafted to reflect God's majesty, a being whose very existence was meant to magnify the Creator. He led heavenly worship, orchestrating the praises of the heavenly realms. His splendor and position, granted by God's infinite grace, were unmatched. Yet it was these extraordinary gifts that became the snare leading to his downfall. Lucifer, who had been entrusted with such immense privilege, began to see himself as the source of the glory he was meant to reflect. Isaiah records Lucifer's prideful words, "I will ascend to the heavens. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will make myself like the Most High." These declarations weren't mere thoughts. They were the seeds of rebellion. But what caused this shift from humble worship to arrogant ambition? The beauty, wisdom, and authority he possessed, all given by God, became the focus of his self-exaltation. Pride, the root of all sin, took hold of his heart. It blinded him to the reality that everything he had was a gift, a privilege meant to honor God, not elevate himself. But how could such rebellion arise in heaven, a place of divine perfection? The answer lies in the nature of God's creation. Perfection, as defined by God, includes the gift of free will, the ability to choose. God designed his beings, both angelic and human, not as mere automatons, but as individuals capable of genuine love and worship. Lucifer's rebellion was not a flaw in God's design, but a misuse of the freedom given to him. This freedom was not a design error. It was a manifestation of God's love. True worship must come from the heart, and with the ability to choose comes the possibility of defiance. The presence of free will in heaven magnifies God's desire for a relationship built on genuine devotion rather than forced allegiance. Lucifer's choice to rebel highlights the risk of this gift, yet it also amplifies the depth of God's wisdom and sovereignty in creating beings capable of authentic worship. Lucifer's rebellion was more than personal pride. It was a direct rejection of God's authority and divine plan. His jealousy of humanity, the beings made in God's image and destined to reflect his glory in unique ways, fueled his defiance. Lucifer, in his pride, could not comprehend why God would create and value creatures who seemed so fragile and finite compared to himself. This envy, combined with his self-exaltation, led him to incite rebellion among the angels. Revelation tells us that he convinced a third of them to follow him in his futile uprising. This act of treachery was not just a power struggle, it was an outright war against the Creator's perfect order. The result? A cosmic expulsion of unparalleled magnitude. Lucifer, now Satan, the accuser, and his followers were cast out of heaven, their former splendor extinguished, their rebellion defeated before God's unshakable justice. The question often arises, why did God allow this rebellion? Why not stop it before it began? These questions bring us to the heart of God's sovereignty and wisdom. God, in his omnipotence, does not override the free will of his creation. Instead, he allows rebellion to unfold, knowing it will ultimately serve his greater purpose and reveal his justice and mercy. Satan's fall is a testament to God's perfect plan, one that transforms even rebellion into a stage for his glory. Through Christ's sacrifice, God defeated the power of sin and death, turning Satan's schemes into opportunities to display his redemptive love. God's justice in casting out Satan and his mercy in redeeming humanity highlight the balance of his character, a balance that no act of rebellion could ever disrupt. This story offers profound lessons for all of us. First, it reminds us of the dangers of pride and the importance of humility before God. Satan's fall serves as a warning. No gift, no position, no accomplishment can replace the necessity of submission to God. Pride is not merely a personal failing, it is a direct challenge to God's authority and a rejection of his purpose. Second, it underscores God's unchanging authority. Even the most catastrophic rebellion could not thwart his plans. Through Jesus Christ, we see the fullness of God's justice in dealing with sin and his mercy in offering salvation. God's response to rebellion was not to abandon his creation, but to redeem it through a love that Satan could never comprehend. So what does this mean for us today? It's easy to look at Satan's rebellion as a distant cosmic event, but the truth is, pride and rebellion can creep into our own lives. Are there areas where you've resisted God's authority or let pride cloud your judgment? The same God who cast Satan from heaven offers his grace to us today. Surrender your heart to him and let his love transform you. Humility is the antidote to pride, and through humility, we find the strength to align ourselves with God's will. This alignment is not a burden, but a liberation, freedom to live in harmony with the Creator's perfect design. If you've made it this far, know this: God's love for you is unwavering. Just as he provided a path of redemption for humanity through Jesus, he extends his hand to each of us daily. No matter how far we've strayed, his grace is sufficient to bring us back. Take this moment to reflect on his sovereignty, his justice, and his profound plan for your life. Remember, the fall of Satan was not the end of God's story. It was a step in revealing the depth of his mercy and the ultimate victory through Christ. Let this truth strengthen your faith, encourage your walk, and draw you closer to him each day. As we conclude, take this to heart. The same God who cast Satan from heaven and triumphed over sin through Christ's resurrection is calling you to a life of purpose and relationship with him. Don't let pride or fear hold you back. Embrace his love, walk in his light, and let his truth guide every step of your journey. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share in the comments how this message has impacted you or any reflections you have on God's sovereignty and Satan's fall. And don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who might be searching for answers, and subscribe for more in-depth biblical insights. Until next time, trust in God's wisdom, rest in his grace, and live in the power of his unchanging truth.